This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, this is James Sykes, President and CEO of Baselode Energy. I hope you've been enjoying the ORDAY's presentation so far. And if you're watching this presentation, then that probably means that you'd like to learn more about Baselode Energy Corp. And I'll be very happy to provide you with that update. This is our general disclaimer, just for your own view. So you're already aware that Baselode is a member of the OR Group, an elite group of companies exploring for everything from copper to gold to nickel and even uranium. The OR Group is the brainchild of Mr. Stephen Stewart, and he's assembled an amazing in-house team of financial and technical expertise to lead each of these companies forward. The members of the OR Group are all just like you. We're all shareholders, and we all want to see value creation with these companies. So Baselode fits into this group as the uranium exploration company, with myself at the helm, who has had an incredible exploration career thus far, contributing to the discovery of at least 550 million pounds of U3O8, that is direct and indirect discoveries, and most notably as the project lead for NextGen Energy's Arrow discovery. But we're doing things differently from our peers at Baselode, and we see that as a great opportunity for us and investors. We're looking for these tier 1 type of deposits, something that would be economic even at today's uranium prices. And you can really only achieve this by either discovering a McArthur River or Cigar Lake type of monster deposit, or in our opinion, a much easier, efficient, and cost-effective approach is to target near surface and open pitable, high-grade, basement-hosted uranium deposits. The economics for those just make sense. We're confident we have the right exploration properties to make a discovery, and we're fully funded to explore our properties with diamond drilling. I can't say it enough that 2020 was a truly fantastic year for Baselode. Number one, we listed publicly on the TSXV in June, and we followed that with a successful listing on the OTC markets in December. We've also staked 2 excellent properties, Shadow and Hook, which each have a lot of potential for discovery success. We've completed our very first exploration program as a company, which was flying an airborne MT survey over Shadow. And we also completed 2 amazing private placements where we raised over $6.5 million. Both of those had an overwhelming interest from retail and institutional investors alike. So on behalf of Baselode right now, I'd like to thank all of our investors for joining us on this amazing journey. And it has been an amazing journey. Now, we completed our IPO at 10 cents, and by December, we saw our share price peak over $1.10 twice. That's amazing. That's up 11 times within 7 months. And even through all of these raises, we're still a very tightly held company with less than 50 million shares outstanding and insiders combined for about 40% ownership. Yeah, tightly held. So you know that our management has skin in the game, and we all want to see our shareholders enjoy a favorable return on investment, more so than what we've accomplished thus far. And since we've got plenty of cash in the bank to move us forward, prepare yourselves for a very active 2021. You can certainly bet we're going to be active. Now is an opportune time to get into the uranium space. Investors made millions on the last uranium bull run between 2005 and 2007. And guess what? The bull run is back. It's starting to pick up momentum. We are here in the cycle. Uranium spot price is currently floating around $30 per pound. Almost a year ago, back in March, we witnessed the spot price jump from $25 to $33 per pound. The uranium bull market is happening again. It has to happen. Nuclear utilities can't let the power go out. Demand has to increase. The major difference between this bull run and that from 15 years ago is that the supply-demand balance is far more unstable now than it was back then. There's massive supply uncertainty. Mines have curtailed production. They've gone on care and maintenance or have simply shut down for good, with no new mines on the horizon to pick up the slack. This didn't happen 15 years ago. This is big. This is opportunity. This is investment opportunity. For Baselode to make a discovery, there's no better place in the world to explore for uranium than in the Athabasca Basin of northern Saskatchewan, Canada. It is the highest grade uranium jurisdiction in the world, with 2 of the mines having the highest valued ton of ore per any commodity out there in the world. And that's Cigar Lake, McArthur River. And Saskatchewan's been exploring, mining, producing uranium for over 50 years now. It's a safe jurisdiction, infrastructure is established, and if we make a discovery on our properties, we know this is a jurisdiction that will have straightforward licensing and approval processes. Saskatchewan knows high-grade uranium. How are we going to make a discovery? Well, by looking for deposits that other people aren't, by looking in areas that nobody has considered, and by applying our know-how and understanding of these systems to pick the most probable areas for uranium deposition. We are reinventing Athabasca uranium exploration. We're exploring for basement-hosted deposits that are outside of the Athabasca Basin. They are simpler geologically. The rocks are more competent, making mining easier. This is the Athabasca 2.0 vision. So our Athabasca 2.0 model has us looking for deposits that could start anywhere from surface down to 200 meters depth, something within a conceptual open pit range in basement rocks, but not in the sandstone rocks where open pits simply can't go deeper than 100 meters. We don't just want to make a discovery, we want to make a discovery that will turn into a mine within 10 years or less. We want our shareholders to reap all of those rewards and benefits from start to end. And we're going to accomplish our goals on our Shadow and Hook properties, both of which are 100% owned by Baselode with no underlying option or royalty agreements. Both properties are situated along structurally favorable corridors that already host high-grade uranium deposits. But now it's time to put our theory to test. In the case of Shadow, we have completed a property-wide airborne MT survey. That survey has allowed us to see very deep structures, these roots that we're looking for that tell us that we're on the right structural trends. The deeper the roots, the more important the structure. The more fluids have migrated, the better chance for forming uranium deposits. And to find the right areas on these structures, we have to look at the MT data and start inferring what we're seeing. Features like this here, with 2 parallel conductors, one being stronger and deeper than the other. And then a few lines over, we see those structures reverse their depth extent, but also increase in conductive response. Well, that's huge. That was one of the features that led my next gen crew to discover Arrow. And we're seeing the same thing happen here on Shadow. So we're pretty confident that Shadow is an area endowed with the right structures, not just the single structure of interest, but the whole structural regime. If you look at this image and consider the pinks to the reds in color to be our structures of interest, you can see the north end of the property has a few, but by the time we're at the south end of the property, there's plentiful structures. Fluids need structures to migrate along. So when you consider what I've just shown, with a scant few structures in the north end of the property, which in this image is on the left, and by the time we get to the south end of the property on the right hand side of the image, it's basically a structurally porous sieve. That bifurcation of structures from north to south is ideal for promoting fluid migration. The more structures you have, the more fluids you can move. And fluids are great, but they have to be the right fluids. And once again, we think Shadow is in the most optimal place for the right fluids. When you consider that uranium deposits globally form with the relation to the chemical process known as redox, well, Shadow looks like it's uniquely situated along a major continental structure that already hosts at least 4 uranium deposits. And the inferred fluid system that could have existed at Shadow is suggestive of the perfect conditions for uranium to have precipitated. So by the time you watch this video, we should have already initiated a ground gravity survey over the project, or will at least be days away from starting that. Gravity has helped discover many Athabasca uranium deposits, hence why we're doing this. I work with it myself, and I think it's a great exploration tool. That survey will be followed up with diamond drilling, which is scheduled to start in mid-February. So we're weeks away from that. That's it. That's all there is to it, just weeks away. We're all excited to see what's in these rocks. The planned 5,000 meters will definitely help us with our understanding of shadow. If we make a discovery, it's game on, and we will drill as much as we can to quickly delineate as much as possible. And you can rest assured that we'll be back to explore shadow during the summer months. We have ground prospecting and mapping planned for areas on the property with radiometric anomalies, and then we plan to follow up with additional diamond drilling. So even though Shadow is the more advanced project, we can't forget about Hook, not at all. Hook is an equally impressive property that is on trend. Well, it's actually between two high-grade uranium occurrences, the McArthur River Mine to the northwest and the Hook Lake high-grade veins to the southeast. And from what we know of the area based on historic assessment reports, there are radioactive and uraniferous boulders and swamps on the property. So we're pretty excited to see what's going on in this area too. The current status and understanding of Hook is admittedly not as advanced as that for Shadow. So in the coming months, we plan to complete a historic assessment interpretation of the property, which will help us identify the next steps, whether those steps are flying the property with modern airborne geophysical surveys, or completing any additional ground geophysics, or simply just getting right into drilling. We'll have a better understanding for what needs to be done by April. Once June rolls around, we'll be able to get some ground prospecting and mapping done, looking for those reported uraniferous occurrences. If we do require additional geophysics, then we'd aim to get those done between June and July, which would provide us sufficient time to interpret the results right in time to initiate a first pass drill program in Hook. Now, with all of that being said, we are looking to actively increase our uranium portfolio, and therefore we'll be keeping our eyes wide open for some new areas that catch our eyes and coincide with our current understanding and thinking. So we just want to grow. We want Baselode to be the uranium company that people want to look for. And that's Baselode. That's who we are. You know, that's what we're doing, and that's how we plan on doing it. Our goal sounds simplistic, to make a tier 1 deposit discovery, but exploration is never simplistic. However, we do have the right people behind this company to make exploration more simplistic, and we're fully capitalized to see our ideas through and hope that we are right. Keep your eyes on Baselode, especially in these coming weeks and months. We'll be very active and we'll have steady flow of news. Thank you very much for watching this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope that you've truly appreciated the Ore Days event. My sincerest best to you for the remainder of 2021.